Day 3 of our Brain B.O.S.S challenge. Today is day 3, tomorrow we have our last day. So excited! How was your homework for day 1 and day 2? So kind of a small recap of what we are doing here, just in case you're jumping recently with this third video. So what we're doing here is we are wanting to become the CEO of our own minds. And for that, first we've learned about how, the different personalities that live within our minds and where they live and what triggers them, how do they switch on and off. That's on day 1. Then on day 2, we went deeper into understanding how the mind works, the relationship between the different minds that we have, how they communicate, and how they control our lives, how deeply they get to control our lives. So both very important. If you haven't watched them, then please do so. You just need to check in on day 1, day 2, and then come the challenge. And just in case this is the first day that you're joining us, who am I? So my name is Marisa Ruiz, and as you can hear, I'm from a Spanish-speaking country. I'm from Spain, and now I'm stepping. I've been working in Spain for 4 years now, and now I'm kind of stepping into this English-speaking sector environment, and that's the first time that I'm providing for an English challenge. So that's also very exciting and new for me, and so I blend in my methodology. I blend neuroscience with energy work, and for those that are open, with spiritual work too. And I work very holistic because that's how I understand the human being. We have our minds, we have our emotions, we have our physical body, we have our energetic body, and even what we call aura, it's completely scientifically proven. You can measure your electromagnetic field in a laboratory. And so that's how I try always to go and work on all dimensions together. I bring my clients, I intuitively guide them back to embody self-love and sovereignty. Because most of the times we've been then programmed that we lost our connection to ourselves, to our self-love, to our compassion, and we have like the worst battles in our minds. Switching off the notifications because we don't want that. So today, I reprogram myself in my day-to-day basis. Because as we saw yesterday, we realized that we have 2 minds, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind. The one is, usually we say about the conscious mind, we talk about the mind that thinks, and the subconscious mind, we usually talk about the mind that feels. That's why I work with everything, because to feel, we need our bodies. So, and what we saw yesterday is that the relationship between the 2 of them, it's not very equal. We are a conscious mind, and a conscious mind is very easy for us to understand because it talks like us. That's the one that we hear the thoughts, right? So that's the easy one. The thing is that that's the one with the smallest amount of information, both on the receiving end and on the giving end. So it's a two-sided road here. So from this is a small remembering from us for yesterday, because it's important for today too. The relationship between conscious mind and subconscious mind, we remember the iceberg metaphor. It's that the most, like the highest information that we can consciously, receive and be conscious about it is the most 5%. The rest, 95%, goes into the subconscious. And that's the one we don't tap to like we do with the conscious mind that literally talks like us. So that means that we all have this huge, amazing library of so much information that most of us don't access in our daily basis. So then, one of the things that happen, many things that happen, but for today's topic, I'm going to pick this one. So one of the things that happen is that, for example, New Year's resolution. We go into New Year's resolution and we really believe that I'm gonna stop eating sugar, or I'm gonna stop eating chocolate, or I'm gonna go to the gym. Now every 2-3 days I'm gonna be to the gym, or I'm gonna, we have like all these intentions. And at the moment, the logical mind believes it. You really believe it. You're like, yes, I'm gonna do this. It's gonna be different this year. What happens usually after 1 month or even less? That most of the time, all those intentions stay there and don't get, into the practice. And then depending on the programming, we find some type of excuses, or even worse, we are really hard on ourselves. Or we do both. We tell the other excuses and then we're really hard on ourselves. So that's actually because, as we saw yesterday, the one that rules is not the conscious mind, it's the subconscious mind. That's where the programming is, that's where your beliefs are. That's where all the memory of everything you've ever experienced in your whole life, that's where it lives, in your subconscious mind. So when we want to make changes, if we only use the conscious mind, we won't get far. It's just, it's just a math. 5%, 5%, it's not gonna win. It's never gonna win. So that means that we need to work differently. What's one way that you can actually really get the results and reach the goals that you want to reach? Then you have to translate those intentions into your day-to-day life. And how do you translate your intentions into your day-to-day life? Well, we humans are a species where we need habits. We breathe habits. And even if we sometimes claim the opposite, we love habits. They give us security, they give us a structure, they give us a sense of control, and so much more. Most of the times, it can happen that the habits that we've acquired through the programming, that we saw yesterday, are not the best ones for supporting actually our goals. And then, since when we don't know the mind, we might start believing that it's because I'm just not capable, or I'm not good at that, or, I'm just not good enough for this, I'm not capable of that. Or that person can do it, but I can do it. Or we start saying, yeah, okay, I could do it if I had that. I could do it if I was like that person. Bullshit. Just saying it like, excuse for the language, but it's just what really comes out, because it's not true. And that's one of the biggest takeaways I want you to take from this challenge. You are capable of so much more than you think, because when you tap into the 95%, and you explore that, and you heal whatever needs to heal, and you clean whatever needs to be cleaned, because that's not just obstacles. Once you remove the obstacles, it's amazing. Okay? So today I'm going to give you one way of how to start. Because there are several ways that I work with my clients to reprogram, to make it easier and faster, because it can become easy and fast. So today I'm giving you one of them. And that is the one that is very simple, it's very easy, it can be a lot of fun, and you can start just right away. Just even tonight, you can even start with this. Okay? So it's hands-on, let's do it together. What we're going to create is a flexible habit plan. And again, why is this super important? So go back to the intentions. We had the intentions for New Year. We're super into this. Please tell me with a one if you've had this, if you've had this, that you really believed in your intentions that you wanted to do. And then, after a while, they just kind of like dilute with the time. And then what happens there is that we want to change from the 5%, from the conscious mind, okay? And then we just say we want to change, but then in our everyday, we do pretty much exactly the same. So nothing much changes. So then, as I said, the subconscious mind just keeps doing, just keep going on repeat, on repeat, on repeat. And if that, new intention was not in your day-to-day basis, and you don't really do something about it to put a structure that supports the growth of that goal, it's not going to last. So this is pretty much, I use the metaphor of kind of like a garden metaphor. It's pretty much like the seed. When you, for example, if you want to plant roses, for to prepare the ground and everything, that's also something that we do, okay? We prepare the ground and then we plant the seed and then you nurture the seed, okay? Then you nurture the seed, and when you want those roses that you've planted to grow, you are usually also, if you're really wanting to grow splendorously, you are also going to place some kind of frame that guides those roses, that gives them this hold so that they can expand. Tell me with a one if that metaphor got through, because I just saw it in front of me. So give me a one if that metaphor came through. It's also, I like to interact with you. It's not that it's just a monologue here. And so that's being said, that's pretty much what we want to create. We want to create that type of frame that will then support that the intention grows and grows stronger every single day. Okay, so and now into the how. How do we do this? And that's, of course, going to be your homework for today. As just a small remembrance, you have until Friday this time, so it's 7 here in Spain, and in Eastern time, I think it's 1 o'clock. You have until this time to finish all the homework, because I'm going to be then telling the, thank you. My child is coming to give me my yes. Say hi, and then und dann lass mich jetzt arbeiten.
Ja, aber komm hier.
Du siehst ihn nicht. Später. So, and I'm saying goodbye to you. And that's the life, right? That's life. So then, as we were saying, we want to create that kind of frame. And that's what you're going to be doing for the homework. And then it's just a remembrance that you have time until this Friday, this time. And then I will be telling the winner for the prize, which is, as I remember, also this VIP session with me, where together we will create a tailor-made hypnosis for you to reprogram whatever is your biggest challenge right at this very moment. And as I said, I've had clients that use it for 3 times, and that was gone. Okay, so it's really powerful work. Let's get started on the how do we do this? How do we do the framework? First thing, pick the times that you're gonna be setting these habits, these new habits. Before that, because it also gives you a good idea of a frame, pick the aim, pick the goal, pick the objective. I'm going to give you an example from myself, and this is a real life example. This is exactly what I did. I suffer from many years of chronic anxiety and chronic stress. So my wakes-ups would be in like, like this, like, oh my God, the whole day, and I would be starting already thinking of all the to-dos that I had, and I would be waking up like rethinking about yesterday. Did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong? Somebody maybe is mad at me. Was it that right? What I did there? Should I have done it this way? And that was my wake up, okay? And I just invite you now to explore how are your feelings when you wake up. Okay, because that's also going to tell you a lot about your programming. What are your first emotions that you connect with? You can share it in your chat. What are the first emotions you connect with in the morning? And what are the last emotions you connect with before going to bed? Because that's going to tell you a lot of where you're at. So Then I decided, to introduce this tool that I'm giving you today. And what I did was the following. My aim, so my goal, was to reduce the anxiety, to get hold on the anxiety, to kind of start working with it and start off suffering it. So, number one, pick the goal, pick the aim. What is this habit supporting you with? Like, what do you want to reach? What do you want to get from it? That's kind of like your why, okay? Number one. Number two, pick the time of the day where you are gonna be practicing that new habit. My top two are, of course, first thing in the morning and before you go to bed. Because those are the strongest times to reprogram your brain. I could give you a very long explanation on why that is so from the neuroscience. Just take my word for that, because otherwise it will get too long, and I want the trainings to be not longer than half an hour. So because I know that time is gold today. So that would be my advice to you, but you pick it because you know yourself better, you know your schedule better, and you know your likes and dislikes much better. So pick one day or one time of the day or twice in the day. I picked twice when I started, and that's my recommendation, pick twice. Let's say, for example, you pick in the morning and in the evening before going to bed. Good. Third step, pick the time. Very important, be honest and realistic. Because for the reprogramming, what matters the most is the repetition and the consistency. So it matters much more than you do it 5 minutes every day or 10 minutes every day or every 2 days. That works much better than doing it 2 hours every 10 days, for example. So be realistic. You have 5 minutes, you have 10 minutes, 5 minutes or 10 minutes, but commit with yourself to really schedule that time. So for example, I use in the morning, it's around 15-20 minutes that I use, okay? Just to give you, for example, an example of a frame. And once you have that, then you pick the what I'm gonna be doing. So for example, as I said, in my case, my goal, remember my why, was to start working with the anxiety to reduce it, or kind of like, be able to work with it and not suffer it. That was the goal. So then I picked the times of the day, and then I picked the what. And the what should be something that you love, that nourishes you, that it's fun, that you enjoy doing it. Because otherwise, it might not last long. So that, for example, what I do with my clients many times is that make a list of the things that you loved doing. You loved doing when you were a child, you would love doing when you grew up, or when you were a young woman or man. What did you love doing or as a teenager? And then see what resonates the most. And of course, depending on the aim, you're going to have a wide range of activities. For example, for the aim that I had with the anxiety, mindfulness, breathing techniques, yoga, tai chi, qigong, journaling, and this goes on and on. It might be something creative like painting or creating something with your hands, or building something. Like I have one client that loves building Legos, so that's what that moment, that's because he connects with his inner child in that moment. So as you see, it's very open and it's very personal. That's something that you need to know. Like you need to know what would, give you the most and be more fun for you to do. And then schedule it. Very important, schedule it. Not just tell yourself, yeah, we remember. Because then, take my word for that, it's very, very, very likely that your mind will forget. Why? Because it's a change, and the mind doesn't like changes. Just because it's the programming, not because it's the mind is a bitch. It's just because it's the programming. You know, you gotta work with the mind and how how the system works. So when you schedule it and you set yourself reminders, especially at the beginning, it's gonna give you the drive. It's gonna give you, many times you're gonna be like, oh God, I forgot about this, and I know that's remembering me. Oh yes, then I'm gonna do this. So a small recap. Remember, if you want to reprogram yourself, one of the greatest and best and easiest techniques is repetition. What can we repeat? Habits. A habit that, help us to reach a goal or an aim. So what would be the steps? Number one, your goal. That's your why. What do I want this habit to support me with? What do I want to reach? What do I want to get with this habit? Then set the time of the day or the times of the day if you're gonna do more than one. Then how long? Be honest and realistic. Then choose what fun that you love to do, that nourishes you. Schedule it and reminders. So those are the steps. And now I would love to know that you put in the chat, what was your biggest takeaway today? And I would really love for you to share what you loved doing when you were a child or when you were growing up, because it will already give you this, just giving yourself the time to put it in the chat and write it, it will already give you the kind of like this, the first boom, push, so that that thinking machine starts rolling in that direction. So for today, end of day 3, tomorrow we've got day 4, and tomorrow it's time for going deep. We're gonna do into a hypnosis that is gonna heal you and that is gonna support you, and that it will start reprogramming you. But of course, it's not usually, I've had it. I've had clients that with one session, it was gone. I had one person that had like this tick in the eye. It was like going crazy. And with one session and one hypnosis, it was gone. It's been now 4 months, I think. It never came back. So, but let's lower the expectation. At the same time, it's powerful. Be there. And the best for you is, of course, that you can at that time give yourself the time. It's going to be at least 15 to 20 minutes. So give yourself the time and the space so that you can really fully enjoy it and take it all in. And now let me know, what did you love to do when you were a child? And what was today's biggest takeaway? See you tomorrow. And you can write the homework here, or you can post it even with a picture. Take much care and see you tomorrow. Bye.